Hi, this is Mrs. Barber with one of our holiday stories. This one is called Santa is Coming to Idaho. Santa is coming to Idaho. Well, boomed Santa, have all the children from Idaho been good this year? Well, mostly, answered the little old elf as he bustled across the busy workshop to Santa's desk. Santa peered down at the elf from behind the tall, teetering piles of letters that the children of Idaho had sent him. Mostly? Asked Santa, looking over the top of his glasses. Yes, but they've all been especially good in the last few days, said the elf. Jolly good, chuckled Santa. Then we'd better get their presents loaded up. Even though the sack of presents was really, really big, and the elves were really, really small, they seemed to have no trouble loading it onto Santa's sleigh. Though how they managed to fit such a big sack onto one little sleigh, even they didn't know. But somehow they did it. Splendid, boomed Santa. We're ready to go. Not quite, Santa, said the little old elf. One of our reindeer is missing. Uh-oh. I wonder what they'll do. Missing? Which reindeer is missing? Asked Santa. The youngest one, Santa, said the elf. It's his first flight tonight. I've called him and called him, but just then a young reindeer strolled up, munching on a large carrot. Where have you been? Asked Santa. But the youngest reindeer was crunching so loudly that it was no wonder he hadn't heard the little old elf calling. Oh well, never mind, said Santa, giving the reindeer a little wink. He took out his Santa nav and tapped in the coordinates for Idaho. This will guide us to Idaho in no time. Crunch, crunch, crunch. With a flick of the reins and a jerk of the harness, off they went, racing through the sky. Ho, 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 laughed Santa. We'll soon have these presents delivered to the gem state. Santa's sleigh flew through the starry night, heading south across the Arctic Ocean. On they flew in the wintry air, crossing over Canada. In the wink of an eye, the sleigh was flying above Alberta and Calgary, and then on to Idaho. The youngest reindeer was very excited. He had never been away from the North Pole before. They have a long journey to go to get from the North Pole to Idaho. I have to go through Canada. They were just nearing the Selkirk Mountains when suddenly they ran into a blizzard. Snowflakes whirled around the sleigh. They couldn't see a thing. The youngest reindeer was getting a bit worried, but Santa didn't seem concerned. In 2 miles, said the Santa nav in a bossy lady's voice. Keep left at the next star. But ma'am, Santa blustered, I can't see any stars in all this snow. Soon they were hopelessly lost. Uh-oh, what will they do? One of those reindeer looks like he has a red nose. Then, through the howling blizzard, the youngest reindeer heard a faint ringing sound. Ding dong. He looked over at the old reindeer with the red nose. Oh, the old reindeer has the red nose. Interesting. But he had his head down. Red nose, I wonder who that could be. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. There was that sound again, like church bells ringing. The youngest reindeer turned around to look at Santa. But Santa wasn't listening. He seemed to be arguing with a little box with buttons on it. Is that his Santa nav? With a flick of the harness and a jerk of the reins, the youngest reindeer gave a sharp tug and headed off toward the sound of the bells, pulling Santa and his sleigh behind him. I wonder what's making that sound. "Whoa!" cried Santa, pulling his hat straight. "What's going on?" Then, to his surprise, he heard the ringing sound. "Well done, young reindeer," he shouted cheerfully. "It must be the bells of Fort Sherman Chapel in Coeur d'Alene. Don't worry, children, Santa is coming." Then suddenly, crunch! The sleigh hit something as it plummeted through the snow clouds. "You have arrived," said the Santa nav unhelpfully. Uh-oh. All the gifts are flying. Finally, when the snow had died down and the clouds parted, Santa discovered exactly where they were. Stuck right at the very top of a giant Christmas tree near the Coeur d'Alene Resort. "Everybody pull!" The reindeer pulled with all their might until at last, with a screeching noise, the sleigh scraped clear of the tree. Santa steered them safely above the Coeur d'Alene lakeshore, over City Park and Beach, past North Idaho College and Molstead Library, along the Spokane River, and down into Ramsey Park. Luckily, there was no real damage done, but the package had all been jumbled up. Santa quickly sorted out the presents into order again. "All right," said Santa. "Thanks to this young reindeer, I know where we are. Don't worry, children. Santa is coming." Phew. Santa drove his sleigh expertly from rooftop to rooftop, all over Idaho, popping in and out of chimneys as fast as he could go. There were big chimneys in Boise and small chimneys in Pocatello. He squeezed down thin chimneys in Nampa and plummeted down fat chimneys in Rexburg. The youngest reindeer was amazed at how quickly they went. Santa never seemed to get tired at all. And it looked like the children in Idaho were going to be very lucky this year. But the youngest reindeer was starting to feel a bit weary and quite hungry too. Oh, he looks so hungry. In house after house, Santa delved inside his sack for packages of every shape and size. He piled them under the Christmas trees and carefully filled up the stockings with surprises. In house after house, the good children of Idaho had left out a large plate of cookies, a small glass of milk, and a big, crunchy carrot. Santa took a little bite out of each cookie, a tiny sip of milk, wiped his beard, and popped the carrots into his sack. From Twin Falls to Idaho Falls, that's where we are nearby, from Lewiston to Meridian, from Moscow to McCall, and all the places in between, Santa and his sleigh visited every house in Idaho. Santa delivered presents to Allison, Andrew, Anna, Arabella, Archie, Ashley. The list went on and on. Zach, Zara, Zeb, Zoe, Zibble. Finally, Santa had delivered the last present on his long list in Idaho. "Great moons and stars," sighed Santa. "It's past midnight and my sack seems as heavy as ever. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone." Santa opened his sack to check, but it was full of juicy, crunchy carrots. Santa divided the carrots among all the reindeer. "Well done," he said, patting the youngest reindeer gently on the nose. But the youngest reindeer didn't hear him. He was too busy munching. He was hungry, wasn't he? Then it was time to set off for home. Santa reset his Santa nav to the North Pole, and soon they were speeding over the Snake River, past Craters of the Moon, above Sun Valley, past the Nez Perce National Forest, and out over Bonner's Ferry. That's a long way. Ho, 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 laughed Santa. Merry Christmas, Idaho. I hope you enjoyed that story. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas.